Should you be giving gifts directly to charity, or should you consider a donor-advised fund? Today we're going to talk about these two strategies, what's going to be most beneficial for the charity and what's going to be most beneficial for lowering your taxes. So first, let's kick off. What exactly is a donor-advised fund? Well, kind of what it sounds like. It is a fund that is set aside for the benefit of charitable giving. You don't have to name which charity you're going to be contributing to, but it does have to go to a charitable benefactor. So dollars put in a donor-advised fund do eventually need to go to a charity to maintain the tax benefits of the donor-advised fund, which is any dollars you put in the donor-advised funds, you get to take a deduction. Okay, great. So why would somebody put money in a donor-advised fund instead of just giving it directly to charity? Well, let's use an example. Let's say you are a married couple and you're giving $10,000 to charity every year. That number may seem really high to you. That number may seem really low to you. Let's just use that as an example. So you're giving $10,000 to charity every year. Now, that's fantastic for the charity, and you might be thinking, hey, I might get a write-off for the $10,000 I donate to charity, which sounds great. Unfortunately, it's most likely not true, and here's why. The reason your $10,000 is most likely not benefiting you at all from a tax standpoint is the standard deduction. And so for a married couple, you have and this is a round number, a standard deduction of roughly $30,000, which means anything under $30,000 that you might normally get to write off, you don't get to write off because you get $30,000 no matter what, which is great. That's $30,000 lowering your taxable income. But if you were to gift, for example, $29,000 in directly to charity and had no other deductions, you essentially got no credit for that charitable deduction. Not that that's the point of the charitable deduction, but if we can benefit you and the charity, all the better. And so, okay, if your $10,000 deduction is essentially vanishing inside of the standard deduction, what is a potential opportunity that we can take advantage of that you can actually benefit from your charitable giving? And that's where a donor-advised fund comes in. So let's say you knew you were going to be giving to charity over a longer period of time. Well, rather than giving $10,000 a year, as an example, you could pull forward, let's say 10 years worth of giving. Okay, so take $100,000, which is $10,000 for 10 years. You can take $100,000, put it all in a donor-advised fund this year. You get the deduction for the full $100,000 in the year you make the contribution to the donor-advised fund. And then you can distribute that as slow as you want. So you can do $10,000 a year, you can do $20,000, then $5,000. It doesn't matter as long as it's going to charity. But the advantage of this strategy, as long as you know you're going to be making charitable gifts over time, is that it allows you to lump all those charitable gifts together in one year and take your deductions above the standard deduction so you can actually get the benefit of that charitable contribution. And so, to summarize here, if you're just giving $10,000 to charity every year and you're married, your $30,000 standard deduction is basically creating essentially a ceiling to where your deductions, your itemized deductions, are probably not getting you any benefit. Not for sure. Talk to your financial advisor, talk to your CPA, of course, but for most, what I see is making charitable contributions, most are not getting the benefit of that charitable deduction. Versus a donor-advised fund, you get to lump years of giving together and get it to a larger number to where you actually get the tax benefit. So everyone wins here. You get the tax benefit, the charity gets kind of these earmarked dollars that are going to be coming to it over time. And so that way it is a win-win. And so neither one of this is a bad strategy. Donating to charity and not getting a deduction is still fantastic for the charity. And it's still an okay strategy. It's just not optimal from a tax standpoint. And so if you thought to yourself, how can I get more tax benefit? The donor-advised fund is a way to pull years of giving and the deductions that come with those years of giving, pull it all forward. So that way, again, you can create that win-win for both yourself and your charity. I hope you found this helpful. As always, thanks for investing your time with the Personal CFO.